Hey, everybody. Back with another stream. Let's see. Just gonna work on another blobby thumbnail today. Let's see which one to do. I think this one. I'm gonna do that one. Yeah. Okie pokey. Zoom in. That looks like a good spot for it. Okay. So let's see. What do we see in these blobs? This definitely looks like some sort of cliff hill thing with some trees on it. Maybe some structures. I have a feeling it'll look nice if I can probably push these further into the background. In fact, I might I'll probably just see how to look to transform everything. Just push things around. I wonder, it might be nice to have like a bright orange sky. I haven't really done that in a while. Probably look pretty unique. I might change it later, but we can keep that for now. Let's see. I might want to make these trees smaller. But we'll see. I think I might do that in a bit. Maybe once I figure out more what I want going on in the background. If we do have this red-orange sky, I'll probably want to tweak these colors to affect it more. Or maybe... I wonder if I hint that it's a little bit blue at the top. We can make it feel more like there's blue sky above us. Then we maybe don't have to change these colors as much. I'm gonna try transforming this more, warping stuff around. Let's see. I like how this area is starting to look. Looks like some trees on some of the cool lookout points. I want to figure out what over there can look like more. Some sort of big old castle structure. Might be nice. I wonder if it's going to be too symmetrical, if this just looks like it's going back in space. It's a giant wall. Push it smaller and smaller. Let's see. I'll try erasing out most of this. Maybe see if I keep just this portion. How that'll look. Okay, so I kind of like the feeling that this is like some sort of big, giant wall. But I wonder if we can frame it more interestingly. Like, let's see. Try grabbing this. Maybe if I like push it so we're looking more at it. I almost wonder if we continue this so it just keeps going like this way. I think we need to change how this looks. I don't want it to feel like split 50-50 between this shape and this shape. So I'm trying to think, should I make this smaller or bigger? Let's see. I'll paint in this a little bit more so we can get a better picture of how this looks. Okay, let's see. So right now, I like the idea of some sort of like castle over here, some sort of lookout, but it feels very boring right now. It might be because these three shapes are very similar in volume. Maybe. I think I need to make something smaller or bigger. Maybe I need to... Maybe pushing this part even smaller. Let's see. I do something like that. Change this thing's shape. Hmm. I'm gonna try flipping this horizontally. Let's see what I can do. Hmm. I'm wondering if I can make this stuff feel more curved. I wonder if it would feel better if it was like... maybe if it curved twice. Make it a little more interesting of a shape. It's like it's going in and then comes out again. Perhaps. Flipping it back to the other side. Let's see. Let's see if adding some more random shapes might help add some interest. Let's see. I'm just going to select a bunch of random rectangles and a bunch of circles. And a few more rectangles. Okay. I'm going to copy that and paste it there. I'm going to flip it horizontally and just duplicate it so I can try editing it twice. Okay, let's do distort this. And let's see if we get anything additional, any additional interest. I mean, some of that seems kind of interesting. Let's see. I don't think I need this stuff. Maybe I could add a small tower over on this side. I don't know. Some of these shapes look like little houses, maybe? Maybe that could be nice. Almost like farmland. Maybe some trees over here. I wonder... Let's see. I think it adds just a little bit. Something nice. Let's try another. Let's see if I distort these. I'll make this side bigger. I almost wonder how it would look. There's like a tower here in the middle. Maybe that could be cool. Let's see. Oopsie. kind of like having a tower here. Let's see. I'm gonna try flipping it horizontally again. Let's see how that looks. Kind of like it. Kind of makes this, oops, makes this tower kind of the focal point. This is pointing to it. This is pointing to it. This is leading up to it. Just make that kind of an interesting structure. I think it'd be good to push stuff behind it back with some atmosphere, so I'll probably want to add that in a minute. Let's see, it feels like the story of this area could be like, we've got these vast open plainlands that lead up to a heavily fortified castle city. Okay, I'm gonna need to tweak the values a good amount so that this actually starts to read better. I think the overall placement things is working better for me now. think it'd be nice to have a character or something standing here. I think if it'd be a group or something sitting at like a campfire, or just like a person or two standing here. I think that might work for rough placement of some characters or something. Okay, let's see. I think next I need to adjust the value so this reads better. But yeah, I think that's what I'll do next. I'm gonna step back for just a sec. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so I think the first thing I'm gonna do is add some atmosphere. Just to push some of that background stuff back further. So that pushes all that stuff back a bit. And maybe under that, let's try adding some shadow. Using a hue saturation adjustment layer and turning down the values. Up the saturation a bit. Hey Phasmaz, thanks for following. Oop. Okay, let's see. Try adding some shadows. What's the inspiration of the pieces I've been doing? It's just mainly, I've just been mainly using a process that I have a lot of fun with, which is kind of just taking these random shapes and pulling out what I see from them. So yeah, it's really mainly just to do some sort of painting for fun. Eventually, I think I would like to. Yeah, I think eventually I'd like to do something a little more focused, maybe have some sort of story in mind, but lately I've been just needing something low-key and fun to to work on. You know, it's kind of fun. I feel like when I don't have too much of a goal, usually I like painting kind of some sort of sweeping, large environment. But when I don't have too much of a goal, I feel like it's I get kind of some interesting results. And when I use these like shapes, I get stuff I might not normally think of. Yeah, exactly. Just kind of playing around, pushing and pulling shapes, and not worrying too much about how the how the final result looks. So yeah, these are usually pretty blobby. Yeah, exactly. Making happy little clouds. Also feel like theoretically, if some of these turn out nice, it might be fun to come back and like actually make them look a little less blobby, less like a kind of a thumbnail thing, but I haven't done that for a while. Maybe eventually though, maybe one day I'll come back to some of these. Doing stuff like this makes you think. I feel like sometimes I've only painted traditionally kind of smaller sizes. I feel like it'd be really fun to just do like a really giant canvas that that's just totally abstract. Just like use like a 6-inch brush or something and just like buckets of paint and paint something crazy giant. I feel like it looks, whenever I see people doing stuff like that, it looks so satisfying. Thank you, Rich Song. You're doing this kind of process. I don't actually know too many people that do this in the industry. I know that I think Scott Robertson does something that kind of inspired this, where he'll overlay kind of sketches. He would do it traditionally. He'll take like sketches he would do on like transparent paper and overlay them and trace it and kind of see what random shapes kind of turn into something he can recognize. But it's kind of funny. A lot of times I feel like I have to hold back on showing some of the crazier blobs before I like show it to people, because people think I'm crazy a little bit. But when I do stuff like this for actual jobs, it does get some fun results usually. That's a really good question, though. Trying to see if adding these shapes help compositionally. I think it helps a little bit. I almost want this shape to be more like an arrow. Maybe it's okay. Just don't want this to be too like rectangular. Oh, that's a great question. Do I prefer fantasy outworldly-esque or doing something? Yeah, I definitely think doing kind of sci-fi fantasy stuff is really fun for me. I've been getting to work on more colorful projects lately, which has been fun. But a lot of the professional work I've done is kind of more realistic or gray. I think a lot of my personal work, I really enjoy doing like super colorful sci-fi fantasy inspired things. Yeah, standard gritty realism palette. I know when I was working on Call of Duty stuff, it was where I'd paint something. I think there's something to be said about the nice kind of figuring out grays and muddy tones, how to make them look nice. But a lot of times I'd paint something colorful and basically just have to desaturate it a bunch. Yeah, I think the stuff with Horizon does look pretty amazing. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I feel like a mix of that sci-fi fantasy. Yeah, Horizon with the robot dinosaurs and it feels like kind of tribal stuff. I feel like I would totally love to work on something like that. Oh, thank you. Yeah, definitely. I know I've been trying to add a lot of depth to my work lately. I've actually been looking at this one artist. Let's see, what's his name? G. Liu Lian. But I really like it's spelled. Let's see, G. Liu Lian. I've been really liking his stuff. Though it feels like he does these really cool environments and has really a nice blend of simple brushstrokes and kind of complex feeling environments. And it feels like they go back forever. Like you'll see like a little tiny structure way back here, and there's just like tons of layers. So I've been trying to get better at incorporating stuff like that. Make it feel like there's a lot of depth to these worlds. I think these shadows I might need to tone down a bit. Well, next, I'm going to see if I try adding some lighting. Let's see. This is with a hue saturation adjustment layer set to linear dodge add. I wonder, it'll look good. I wonder if it should be kind of orange in color. Maybe. We'll see how that looks. I feel like that might be too much. Maybe if I just put it in a few places. the lens flare, yes. I know, definitely. Like I feel like adding glow to the sky, or freaking color dodge glow, always makes things look beautiful. Wondering if I should add some light here, but I don't know, I feel like this is kind of working as a focal point. Everything feels like it's pointing to it. Wonder, would it distract too much having something here? Maybe not. Maybe if I just did a little bit. Let's see. So that's this is with the lighting shadows added and without. With, yeah, definitely adds more depth. Let's see. I feel like I want to make this more blue down here. Or maybe it should be orangish. I feel like blue would be nice. Let's see. Or I'm going to make a lighten layer. And then I'll add a little bit of blue. Just a little. Yeah, I think that's all right. Okay, next I think I'm going to do some adjustment layers where I'm going to create some curves adjustments and just select the different layers of depth. So like this will be the foreground, then this will be the middle ground, that'll be the middle ground. Probably have, let's see, maybe a second middle ground. Yeah, second middle ground. Call that middle ground 2. And might just do one background layer and then also a sky selection. I think I might want to change the shape of this blobby mountain here. That'll be the background stuff, and then select all the sky. Okay. So first I'm going to do the foreground layer stuff right here. Here, I'm going to show really quick. Let's see, this button. So I'm just doing curves adjustments to affect the values. But I think I'll, unless someone thinks it's helpful to see the curves I'm adjusting, I like to keep it small. So I'm probably going to just zoom in here. Ah! Is that a scream of realization or... Yeah, I love, oh my gosh, I love using... I see. Okay, yeah. Makes way more sense than a scream. Should be all caps, I guess, if it were an actual scream. But yeah, I love using these curves layers to affect values and colors. Like, I'll just do really quick. I mean, you'll be able to see what I'm doing, but it's so powerful for affecting things. That's basically what I do. I play those. Especially in a classroom setting, gets a lot of good response from the teacher and fellow classmates. Yeah, I love these curves layers. So like now I'm also adjusting the different color channels. Screaming, then immediate silence. Just the silence of understanding after a scream of realization. I had a classmate once whose sneezes were literal screams. I just imagine it being similar. It just completely stopped the class every single time. It was pretty ridiculous. Yeah, when I use these markup, it was like a literal scream, though. It cleared those nostrils. It was like genuinely terrifying. I don't even want to mimic it because I think it would cause deafness. Oh, another cool thing with these curves layers, curves, which by the way, it's like it's this little symbol just in case anyone wants to know. But this little button with the finger and the arrows, you can pick a specific spot. Here, wait, I want to affect the blue. A specific spot, and then click and just drag, and it'll affect that value on the graph, which I feel like is super helpful. Although unfortunately, I want this to be bluer, but not that. Oh, maybe that works. That looks kind of funny. Too many points now. Let's see, I'm going to get rid of these. Yeah, I think a lot of times, that's a great question. I think a lot of times I do tend to paint things kind of flatter at first, especially with these when I don't really know what I'm painting. I kind of like figure out the overall shapes that seem interesting, and then I have to add in, kind of push the values to add lighting and effects or whatever. I think that's probably pretty true most of the time. I don't know, I think for sketches where I'm trying to figure out stuff, that is true. I think I usually start pretty flat or don't worry too much about the lighting unless it's like really important. Because sometimes, I'll like paint just shadow shapes if I want the composition to really be totally dictated by the light. And then like if I were to take this to more of a final, I might, kind of use this as a starting point reference and then kind of paint like shadow shapes and have the lighting in mind. Yeah, I think a lot of times I do kind of start out with almost more like local colors. I don't know, like there's some idea of lighting in here with like the top down, but yeah, I guess it's more like kind of overcast feeling of light. And also a lot of my like I think I start a lot of my more thought out pieces in the same way that I do this. No, I love the questions. Don't be started. That's like why I want to do streaming, and I want to make more I want to make some educational content. So all these questions are more than welcomed. Please keep them coming. Because you're asking, the process different from quick sketch paint versus one that's more thought out. Yeah, I think the way my brain works is I really like starting not with a blank canvas. So a lot of times I will start with some sort of crazy shapes, but then if I have an idea in mind, that'll kind of guide, the direction I go. It'll be much more, like directional what I'm planning on doing, rather than like what I'm doing with this piece, which is just kind of going with the flow completely, whatever feels like whatever my brain wants to paint. But I think a lot of times I do start really rough and kind of random, and then I use that once I kind of know more what I want to paint, then I'll switch over to a more like I'll cut out specific shapes or just start drawing on a new file, kind of cleaner shapes that I'm thinking of doing that would work well based on these. And usually, so it'll feel a little more, intentional in all of the decisions. And although there is sometimes some of the crazy chaotic shapes that happen from this sort of process, sometimes it can look pretty neat. So sometimes I might like copy and paste something if it's looking boring in my final, but nice in the sketch. And honestly, I feel like I much prefer doing kind of the coming up with rough ideas and sketchy stuff rather than working on a final. So I feel like I'm not great. I can do it. I can make more finished looking pieces, but I feel like I usually lean into more brushstrokey and looser stuff. It does that. Being kind of strange. Oh yeah, sometimes it does have some weird, like if I don't select it perfectly, it'll it can end up with rim lighting, but I'll usually just paint over that. So like if I selected like this, here, right, and like there's a little bit of rim, whatever. And then like, oh, I wanted to move it up. So I go here. I'm like, oh, there's a little bit of a thing there. Then I can like paint over that. Yeah, a lot of times if I'm like literally working from these, like a rough painting, since the background is like kind of the same, like you might not even notice if there's some of those accidents. And then sometimes it does, I do heavily lean into happy accidents. And so sometimes like extra rim lighting or stuff like that, if it looks good, I might leave it. Yeah, definitely excellent questions. I love all these questions you're thinking of. It's super helpful for me to, I don't know, what's interesting about my process to hear about. A lot of times I feel like how I work is so chaotic that I worry. It's just like, okay, like what? I'm like, does anybody else see what I'm seeing as I get closer to an end? Oh my gosh, I love Control Paint. He's matte core for sure. I feel like his stuff, I used a lot of his stuff learning when I was in school. I still look at his stuff from time to time. He posts new kind of concepts or ideas or techniques that I really like. Yeah, definitely I know I'm not very good at talking to an empty audience yet. I usually just kind of describe what I'm doing. But yeah, it's very fun having someone who's engaged and actually asking me stuff that I can answer. So yeah, I appreciate all the questions. Keep them flying, as it is really fun to talk about. Nice. All right, thank you. I feel like I see, like, I guess it's different with like if you're streaming video games. Like, I feel like you don't really want to watch a video game streamer just describing what they're doing. So they have to they start talking about like their life and funny stories or whatever. So I feel like not great at doing that, but I think it makes more sense to describe what I'm doing when I'm painting. Like the average onlooker probably does not really know what I'm thinking or imagining. Even I think probably professional people would not totally understand what I'm doing a lot of the time, especially when I start from from the beginning or whatever. Yeah, I agree. I think it's totally situational. Okay, let's see. I like these purpley blues that are in here. This is after my adjustment. I want to bring some of that back. How do I do that? I'll turn it down just a touch. Let's see. Okay, so these are my adjustments, all the curve adjustments so far. Just added like a little bit more depth. If we look at it in black and white, just a little more. Like feels like this is close and this stuff's a little farther. I feel like it would probably be good to push that stuff further, maybe. Or maybe bringing some of this down too. I think that looks kind of nice. Okay, let's see. I don't think I'm gonna worry about making these blobs too carefully into character silhouettes, but I might just I think I want these to be characters. Cloaked figures. I feel like I need to like design some characters that aren't just like default fantasy cloaks and staves and stuff, so I can just like default to putting their silhouette in. Maybe for these characters, I might add like a shadow under them. Oh, oops. I did the wrong layer type. I'm doing a hue saturation layer here. Turn down the values. Oh, gotta turn that on. Up the saturation. And then I'll paint in some contact shadows, yeah. Sure, that works for little blobby dudes. Okay, let's see. I might just paint over, let's see. Like, I feel like that mountain shape was bothering me a little bit. And I think I'm pretty close to calling this one good enough. Let's see if there's any final things I want to add. I feel like this shapes in the sky could be improved. I think that looks a little nicer. Just a little less crazy. And let's see. I think the last thing I'll do is just a few more overall curves layers. I usually do like one more. So it just affects everything overall. Just to see if there's any little tweaks that look nice. And then I do one set to luminosity, which I'll have to show because I feel like it's a cool way to use curves that a lot of people don't know about. Let's see, brighten stuff up a little bit. This is with the adjustment, without. Probably split the difference. Turn this down to like 50%. Then, okay, so I'm going to make a curves layer. Here, I'll switch this quick. I'm going to set it to luminosity. So then that only affects the values. Hey, Job Ramirez. How are you doing? Just about to tweak some of the values. Let's see, set this curves layer to luminosity, and then turn it black and white, and then adjust the individual color channels, and you can just affect the values. Sometimes you can, it affects, or it will make the composition read a little bit better. Well, everything's so tiny. I'll zoom back in. For you guys. So this is the blue layer. Just affecting the blue channel. Okay, so that's before, after. Let's see, with color, that's before and after. Yeah, I just kind of separated things more. It just affected the values. If I set it to a normal mode, it kind of makes colors go a little crazy, which could be cool. I've done that sometimes. But if I want to maintain, so that's set to normal, and then that's to luminosity. And it kind of keeps the colors. Sometimes it washes out some of the colors, but yeah, and I think I'll do one more curves layer to make like a vignette, or I turn everything down. the values down. Invert that. Grab the gradient tool. And then just kind of create some vignetting. Yeah, sometimes I'll check how it looks on a white background as opposed to black. Yeah, I think it looks okay. I could maybe even brighten it up a little more. Maybe not too much. Or maybe that's crazy. That might be too crazy. Yeah, I don't know if I like that. I'll keep it, but I'm going to turn it to like 20%. Just a little bit. Okay, back to black. Cool. I think that'll be it for now for this one. All right, so I'm going to zoom out, zoom back in more for the final before and after blobs. So these are the crazy blobs we started with, and this is the rough painting we ended up with. Like you can see these blobs here. Thank you. Ended up turning into a bunch of these towers. Got this rockin' bush transformed to this a little bit. Yeah. Let's see. With the rest of the thumbnails so far. Oops. There we go. Those are the ones we've worked on so far. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I've been streaming. I haven't set up a streaming schedule yet, really. I just kind of stream here and there when I can, but it is, I've been having fun. It's especially fun when you guys come by and ask questions and I can talk about stuff. So yeah. Thank you. My goodness. So many compliments. Don't know how to handle it. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. Thanks, Fazmaz, for asking so many awesome questions. Definitely love talking about that stuff, especially when it feels like I'm being helpful. Yeah, well, thank you so much for tuning in. I think I'm gonna head out, but hopefully I'll catch you guys again another time soon. And yeah, thanks again. Really appreciate you tuning in and watching. Have a great rest of your day. See you guys soon. Oh, maybe before I go, first thing you saw was Car 3 art book. Oh, thank you. Oh man, that's so awesome. I appreciate that's really cool that you found me through that art book. And it was pretty wild that I got to have some stuff in there. But yeah, I've got quite a few. Some of them are more scuffed than others, but quite a few streams on my YouTube channel if you want to scoot through those. But definitely, I'd love it if you tune in, and if you have any thing you want to talk about, or sometimes it's really fun to hear what you see in the blobs, and I can try to add that stuff. But yeah. yeah, well, I should probably head out, but thank you so much. I'll definitely, hopefully catch you again soon.